Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Solbrit. This has been a bit of a long time coming. Solbrit has been with us for a few years and then back with the customer and then back with us again for some features that we will show you later in the video. But this here is a perfect opportunity to tell you all about this brilliant camper van. As per eDub specials, we have converted it to 100% electric. I'm going to tilt you through some of the other things that we've done with the camper van, such as the restoration work that we've done, and also the pride that the customer now has in being able to own a classic vehicle that doesn't produce a ton of noise and emissions and pollution. My name is Kit Lacey. Welcome to eDub Conversions. So of course, this is a camper van, which means that it's not just any old vehicle on four wheels. It has a whole living space back here. And one of the things that the customer wanted us to take care of while it was with us at eDub Conversions was not just the electrification, but also the complete restoration as well. Now, the vehicle actually came to us in this exact color scheme, but it was a little bit faded, a little bit worse for wear. So part of the restoration job from the requirement of the customer was to give it the full respray that you see before you, which I personally think is absolutely gorgeous. And what's so fun about these old campers is when you're in the vehicle, there's hints of this beautiful orange on the inside of the vehicle too, which makes you kind of reminds you of just how beautiful it is as people are driving past or waving at you. You're thinking, yeah, I'm in a pretty gorgeous camper. Inside the camper, we didn't touch much in terms of the interior. It's all original, it's all working well. The new front seats have been put in and we've changed some of the dash stuff as well. It has been raised, so we've raised it. Before it was on quite low suspension, so it's kind of riding on the bump stops a little bit and the customer wasn't that keen, but also it had to make room for some of our batteries that went underneath as well. But all in all, I think it's a brilliant vehicle. And what's so incredible about it as well is it's not just a signed off, finished, done forever job. And so it can keep evolving with his taste. It can keep changing and growing and matching his style of exactly what he wants out of his camper. So this camper van has belonged to the owner for not many months. So he wanted to see it with a new lease of life. This was the natural evolution of the vehicle from what was available to him previously. And obviously the main difference there is the fuel type. It's now run on electricity. It's got a electric motor underneath between the rear wheels. It's still all rear wheel drive as it was before. We haven't touched much of how the vehicle operates. We've just changed how it performs. It's about 3 times as powerful as it was before. And obviously all of that is entirely electric, and all of it is therefore entirely possibly renewable depending on your electric source. And that was a big deal for our customer, is they wanted to make sure that as they were experiencing their classic vehicle, as they were driving around in their hippie wagon, they wanted to make sure that they were making as little impact on the earth as possible. And it's also perfect recycling. This is already a vehicle that's been produced. The emissions that have gone into the production of the vehicle have already been spent. So let's not throw it away and buy a new camper van. Let's take something that's old and recycle it with something brand new and better than it was before. Now that also features, of course, a change to how it is refueled. So here we have the reason that the vehicle has been with us for a little while this year after going back to the customer. We have the latest and greatest CCS technology. Now, 10 years ago, we started at eDub and we started with our first ever camper van, Indy. And she was the first electric classic camper in the world to hire. And that was an incredible feat that we managed to start 10 years ago. And so that brings us to today, where this Solbrit is our first electric classic camper to feature CCS rapid charging. And it makes such a difference. So I own Indy myself, the green camper, and there's plenty of times I can drive her to the coast, we can find somewhere to charge and we can drive back again, but occasionally the locations we want to go might not have a charger in exactly the place that we want to go. So if I had rapid charging on Indy, that would make the world a difference. I wouldn't need it all the time, but to know I had it gives me such peace of mind. So the experience of driving the electric classic camper has also changed quite radically, but not too much to make it an uncomfortable drive. We always strive at eDub Conversions to start with a vision of what the vehicle needs to be at the end of the conversion process. It is no good just to throw in the most powerful electric motor you can find if it makes the driving really horrible. The experience is more important to us than anything else. So you can trust us to take care of your vision and your vehicle when we do our conversions. And the biggest way this has changed, I mentioned before, it's got more power, but there's none of that awkward gear stick maneuver that a camper van is used to. The gears are gone. This is effectively an automatic conversion. The clutch has gone, the gear stick has gone. You turn the key, you select your direction, forward or reverse, and you push down on the throttle and you're away. It's incredible. But why don't we have a look and see what that looks like for yourself? The dials are also really great. We've designed them, as in our other campers, to look like the original dials. So a large one in the centre, smaller ones on each side, but they now serve a slightly different purpose. Your central one is still your speedo. It's also holding little LEDs for your indicators and your beams. The left dial is doing your battery state of charge. That's live, obviously, while you're driving. And there's also your inverter temperature on there. And we put that on there just as a first sign of warning if anything was to go wrong with the drive unit cooling system. And then on the far right-hand side is, again, a live amp dial. So that's showing you how much power you're using when the amp dial goes up. But also at the rapid charger, that's showing where it goes down. It shows you that you're live charging and the speed that's happening, which is really great. We've also got our heater switch on there as well, high voltage heating, so I can flick that on, and that's instantly giving us some heat up through the channels and warming ourselves up, which is just amazing. So here we are at a rapid charger, which is quite unusual for a classic conversion such as ours. We've been waiting literally 2 years to be able to give these features in the wild to our customers. We've got a handful of customers that we're dealing with at the moment to fulfill the orders, but here we have the rapid charger, and I just want to show you how the process works. So we've got our CCS rapid charging port here on the side where the fuel filler used to be. All the technology is behind there. You don't need to see any of that, but this no longer opens. Everything you need is on the front in a waterproof cover. We've got obviously our charge point. Now this particular charge point is asking us to plug in the cable first. So we'll start there. These simply pull out, take the CCS output, plug that in. The vehicle has sensed that it's been plugged in, so it's getting ready to start. Now again, Pod Point require you to authenticate the charge on the app. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I've selected this location. I'm going to select CCS, charge confirmed. We're now going to wait for the screen. Now this process normally takes around 30 seconds to complete. So it's just saying charge delayed until power is available. What that means is that the charge point is finding the right voltage before it gives it to the vehicle. It also sometimes means another vehicle might be charging, so it might be waiting until power is available, which can be a little bit frustrating. So now the charger's found the right voltage. That's closed some contactors. We've got more clicking going on the vehicle. Our vehicle has now gone green on the light there. So this button here is actually, it's the stop button, but it's also telling you what's happening within the vehicle. So it was purple for a while, it's gone to green now. It's still thinking about it. You can hear a few things clicking around to make sure it's all working. And the thing that I'm looking for predominantly is the screen to say that it started charging. And I'm also looking for the dash on the inside to show that it's going on negative charge. So right now, excuse me, Roxy, if you look at the right-hand dial, that has now moved down. That's a live dial. That has gone down to a negative. So you can see 0 there. You've got 1 and 2. That's minus about 120, 130 amps coming into the battery pack right now. The state of charge is also live. So as I go away, it's on about 60% right now. As I go away and come back again, that's going to update live as we're using it, which is really exciting. So the screen itself will also show you what's going on, which really helps you to know things are happening and occurring. So it's telling me my live state of charge. There we are, moving up in real time, how much it's delivered, the particular time, and the speed it's going at. That speed will vary depending on lots of factors, in terms of state of charge, in terms of temperature, in terms of cooling, things like that. So that can go up to 70 kilowatts, but it depends on the circumstances. Actually, right now, it's actually a little bit higher percentage than what you're seeing, so it's just calibrating itself as it moves through. But I'm really excited about this feature, because for me, it kind of puts one of the final pieces of the puzzle together to make this into a genuine alternative to your modern EV car. If you were considering something like a Tesla or a Polestar or some of the other vehicles like that, Porsche Taycans, and you want something that's a bit more versatile, recycling an old vehicle, bringing new life into it, this is now a complete game changer. right now we're approaching a junction. Actually, right now I'm coasting. This is just engine braking, the equivalent of engine braking, slowing us down. It's actually a neutral braking on the regen setting. So I've got neutral braking off the throttle, and then I've got another level of regen when I push down on the brakes before the brakes actually squeeze. But what I wanted to show you, and I'm just going to turn the wipers off for a second, is how this thing accelerates. So we're stopped at a junction. If this was busy and you needed to get out quite quickly, I'm not going to floor it because it hurts your neck, but it gets off a little bit like this. It's fine. It's not a problem. You can get out in traffic easy peasy. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but this might be my new favourite camper van. I mean, the colour is obviously gorgeous, the interior is really practical and really classic, but she's just so much fun to drive. Now that rapid charging is nailed and the range is brilliant, the driving as well is just so fantastic. So it's single pedal driving, it's really tons of speed, and I've just got everything that I need. I'm high up on the road, I can see for miles. I mean, Indy should be pretty jealous right now. So I wanted to introduce you to the proud owner of Solbrit. This is Joel. Joel, thank you for spending the time to talk to us today about your gorgeous camper van. But we wanted to start off by asking you, why did you decide to get your camper converted to electric in the first place?
Good question. I was one of those dreams that I had that maybe like in decades I will be able to do it, and how would I do it? And then during lockdown and everything, like, is the world ending? I wrote this like bucket list of things. Like, this is on top of my dream list. Let's do it. And start Googling and found you guys and realized I might not have to do it myself. I can find some people who actually know what they're doing. So maybe in a couple of years, and then it was a slippery slope, and here I am.
There we are.
Yeah.
And so you found us through online, and then I remember when the vehicle came, because how long had you had the vehicle before it came to us?
It was just like 6 months.
Okay.
I got it off after I decided.
I see.
So.
And so Solbrit, the name, that was your name. That wasn't the name of the vehicle before you got it.
Yeah, no, it's I didn't know if the previous owner had another name, maybe Sunshine, because it said Sunshine on several pillows that arrived with it. Yes, and Solbrit is, I'm Swedish, and it's a name like that nice old fun aunts might have. And Sol in Swedish, Sol for the sun, and Brit, she's British. So it sort of felt like a good name for the van.
Perfect.
And you know that all the vans need a name.
They definitely do. It
really
so
much personality.
It really frustrates us when the vans don't have names. We don't know what to call them in the workshop. You're exactly right. So then we took the vehicle in and we carried out our conversion. We had a new paint job done to it as well.
Yeah.
Now you've actually come and received the camper twice, but let's think back to December when you first came. What was your reaction when you first came to see your camper?
It was amazing. Like the same van that I had, I drove up to Sweden and back before delivered it to you, so gotten to know it quite well with about 6,000 miles. To see it both with the same color but new paint job, and but the big thing wasn't to see it, was to hear it. That magic moment of turning the ignition, and it's almost nothing.
Or not hear it.
A few clicks, and like you can almost hear like the needle on the gauge meters move. So that is a magic feeling, and it still feels so good every time.
So turn the key.
Did you hear that? I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then put it in forward. And we're off. This is just as I imagine it. So much fun. You can hear the 50 years of suspensions. Like, you can still hear the car, you can hear the sounds. I remember when I was driving it the first time, and I was standing still, I could hear birds chirping. Like, this is not the same car. It's absolutely the same car, but it's such a different thing to just so close to everything, and you realize how few electric cars there is, because I can hear the traffic, but it's all the other engines from all the other cars.
And now
Yeah.
you got the new feature of the rapid charging as well. So
Yes, that will definitely change my.
Yeah.
It's been a nice, slow sort of traveling before with one charge per day, because it's
Yeah.
basically taken a night to charge it up. So now the world is ours.
Yes, yes, the opportunities are endless.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for spending the time to talk to us, and hopefully many more happy journeys for you.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. And it's quiet again. Yeah, this is what I dreamt of.
So we talked about how a customer like yourself might get in touch with eDub with a vision for what they want. We've also talked about our conversion process, and there's plenty of other videos that you can watch that go through that in more detail. But we also take just as much care over the after service for our conversions. Think about it more like we're not just treating you as a customer, and then once your conversion is finished, you're off on your own. We kind of treat the vehicle as the customer, in that as long as the vehicle needs us, we're there for you. So that means that after the vehicle has been delivered, we will give you free servicing for life. Anytime you want to bring it back, we can go through the whole system, check anything that's going on, maybe put some new upgrades in terms of software on some of the systems, all completely free of charge. And also, if there is anything that does need doing to the vehicle, whether that's repairs, it's still an old vehicle, so some of the classic parts might need looking at, or maybe it's an upgrade, maybe there's new features that are going to come out in the future, such as the CCS system that we've included now. Any of those features, if they were wanting to be implemented by yourself, we would also give you a discount on those features as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's been great to have you with us. If you want any more information, then head to our website, which is edubconversions.co.uk, where you can also book a test drive of an electric vehicle just like Solbrit to get behind the wheel and get a feel for what it's like for you to experience an electric classic campervan. Get in touch through the website to organise a test drive, or you can call us. We're in the UK on 01423 421 950. My name's been Kit Lacey, and thank you so much for watching.